Imagine that you are socializing in Facebook for having some fun and knowing what's happening in the world. You have found a video whose title is "You Will Not Believe What You Will Hear." You will have an urge to open it, and you will hear a word differently from some people commenting what they heard. Why is that? It is auditory illusion. Good morning, everyone. We are the group of biased mind hypothesis. In this presentation, we will mention briefly what we have done, which methodology we used, and the results proving our hypothesis.
Worldwide, the study of auditory illusion has been considered one of the most important topics discussing between researchers. They would like to know why this is happening. In general, auditory illusions highlight influence of neurological reflexes on our perception of reality. More clearly, our brains can interpret the audio information in an unusual way. In our research, we have examined an important factor that can play a vital role in the Yanni and Deleural phenomenon and the similar illusions. The hypothesis we examined is if we prepare a brain to hear a certain word by pointing to it in a question and ignoring the other words or hearing the record, he or she will be more likely to hear the mentioned word. We have done two sorts of surveys. One is for the control group and the other is for experimental group to accurately measure this hypothesis. Our methodology in the project is that the experimental group was asked a question in the form of "Can you hear?" Before recording, a high-frequency word like chili and another low-frequency word like lural were chosen to be asked about. The control group was asked the normal question, "What do you hear?" and the two words were stated clearly to choose between. After analyzing the results we got from the online surveys, the results supported our hypothesis. The majority of participants were likely to choose the word that we asked about in an experimental group survey. Our analysis for why this happened is that, first, the biological perspective of such an illusion says that our perception of sound completely relies on where each component frequency produces vibration. High-frequency sounds selectively vibrate the hair cells, which are sequences inside a cochlea, which is upon perceive the sounds in front, whereas lower frequencies travel further along the cochlea before causing appreciable excitation of the back hair cells. Our second analysis is regarding the Yanni and Deleural phenomenon. In our experiment, some words such as Yanni and chili have high frequencies, whereas words such as lural and floral relatively have lower frequencies. Recording these low-frequency words, besides adding a high-frequency distortion, leads to controversy between people of what they hear. To consider these distortions or ignore them is a major rule of the brain. Due to the distortions the recordings have, the brain gets unusual auditory signals information that forces it to fix these sounds, whereas by considering these distortions or by ignoring them, and then get the best result to be heard, but it's not a must to be right. Our third analysis is about priming phenomenon. As the brain finds analyzing the recordings a little challenging because of the distortion, reading the words like chili and lural into a yes or no question before listening to the recording helps the brain to be more into these words. It's like making the brain more biased to analyze distorted recordings into what it recently has read. In psychology, this phenomenon is called the priming phenomenon. According to Psychology Today magazine, priming is a phenomenon in which exposure to a stimulus, such a word or image, influences how one responds to a subsequent related stimulus. So, after discussing and analyzing our results, we can say that The results of the experiment show that this factor has such a significant impact that can be a result of the priming phenomenon that brain tends to be biased to what it recently read. And it could be explained also because of response expectancy theory that people tend to experience what they expect. We have also tried to avoid any sort of confounding factors, but there were some limitations because of COVID-19. Also, there were some limitations like we cannot conduct interviews with people to test our hypothesis because we are in online courses, so it's nearly impossible. And thank you.